Aloha and welcome back to my channel. My name is Linda. If you're brand new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back and thank you so much for being here again. So today I wanted to kind of show you some of my pairings that I use with tarot. So how I pair specific oracle decks with my tarot decks. And just kind of give you a little walkthrough of how that looks for me. I have 4 different ones here. We'll take a look and I'll try to get through all of them. I might only get through a couple of them because I do quite a lot of stacking. That's what I call it. I don't know what else one calls it, but I call it stacking. It's kind of like stacking the deck, because as someone who is just really getting into fully exploring tarot and immersing themselves in tarot, and I will admittedly tell you right now, I am not a tarot expert, and I just do what feels comfortable and works for me. I don't do readings for other people. At some point that would be kind of nice. If I get to that point where I am able to, then that's fantastic. If I never get to that point, then I'm perfectly happy to just go at my own pace and learn the tarot as it comes about. And so I thought that'd be kind of fun, and just to kind of give you like a little glimpse into how my very chaotic magpie squirrel brain works. And I hope this helps anyone else who is looking to decide how you want to pair your cards. And of course, you don't have to do any of the things that I am doing. Like I said, this just works for me, and I know that there is a process and a rhythm for everyone. And I just hope this gives you some ideas. Maybe if nothing else, it'll give you a good laugh, perhaps. I'm not sure. So without further ado, let me bring you on down here and let you take a little peek into how I do things. All right, to start us off, we have my original tarot deck that I have used for years and years and years, and this is my the Antique Anatomy Tarot, and I love this tarot. We have been through a lot together, and she did come with a very beautiful guidebook, which I have used lots and lots as I have been trying to learn and study and grow within tarot. And I believe that tarot, like so many things within the craft, is a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong educational pursuit, if you will. And so I have used this one for a bazillion years. So this is what the cards look like on the back. This is their fronts. So we'll just grab, oops. As you can see, I have bent them. I don't know what kind of material they're made from. Like, I mean, they're obviously like cardstock or something, but they're kind of stiff. And so I have used them a lot. So we'll just go through and grab a couple, and I'll show you how I have chosen to pair them. So put this away and set that there. Okay. So here's the Hanged Man. I'll just pick out a couple other cards. So this is kind of what they look like. And I just think they're gorgeous. Let's see, I'll slide you over this way maybe. Again, we're in my bedroom because the lighting in here is better and it's raining outside, so hopefully the lighting is not too hideous. If it is, I am sorry. So to go with this deck, I purposely bought this set of the Vintage Wisdom Oracle cards a long time ago as well. Actually, I think I bought it at the same time I bought the Anatomy. And it came with a book. Again, I have really kind of read through this book a lot. And it doesn't show you the pictures of the cards, but it does tell you, like, because they're alphabetical, which is nice because it's always helpful. So there's that. And then I think when I was doing like essentially the show and tell of my decks, I explained that this deck is ginormo, so it's actually kind of hard for me to shuffle. So I'll push that back up there. All right. So I have paired these two together for a really long time. It's just kind of my thing. I think the artwork is glorious, and so it's just the deck I've used with it for forever, and it works really well. They work really well together. So, and then recently, as I had explained in the other video for my anniversary, my husband, wanted to know what I wanted for our anniversary, and so I asked for oracle cards and tarot decks and that sort of fun stuff. So I got this deck here, which is the retro oracle deck, to go with the Antique Anatomy, because I thought it just kind of seemed fitting, I guess. So obviously because of the art style that is very similar. And then I also picked these up because I love the flowers in the two original ones that I gotten, so I wanted this one also. And this is the Botanical Inspirations. And again, kind of mimicking a lot of the same, or similar art style, artwork. And we're in that same kind of color scheme as well, which kind of, for whatever reason, it works with my brain. Again, this may not work for everyone. I imagine I'm probably one of the few people on the planet that this actually works for. Not because I'm extra special, but because my brain is just extra in general. And then I really liked these. This is the Wise Witch Oracle cards. That's the backs. These are the fronts. And again, kind of very similar. And you can kind of see like how my mind was essentially going with regards to what I thought would look well together as well as work well together. And I do think that they work well together. I think when I'm reading and trying to work with, for myself, I feel like it definitely does flow for me personally. And then lastly, I have the Starlight Enchanting Messages from the Cosmos by Jessica Lee. And these work also, I think, really, really well. Again, just kind of, this is how I layer. So I will, of course, start off my reading with my tarot most of the time. Sometimes I'll start off with an oracle deck, and then I just kind of, however many cards come about is what I'm using for that particular reading. And that's essentially kind of how I work with the cards together. So this is the first grouping, if you will, and then I will grab some more, and then I'll show you the next one. For my next grouping, I'm going to use my classic tarot, and which is the Rider-Waite-Smith. And I'll show you a couple of these. We'll just kind of pick out a couple. I'll give you an idea. Alright, so hopefully you can see these. Let's see. Boop. Okay. Try to keep everything in the picture. Guess I used 3 of the last ones, so we'll use 3 of this one also. Trying to see in my viewfinder to make sure I have everything kind of lined up. Sorry, cat hair. Can you see that? I can't tell because I can't see my viewfinder very well. Okay, there we go. So hopefully you guys can see that. And then I have my beautiful Talisman Oracle cards. And these are exquisite. We'll just grab a couple of these. Again, I'm just trying to give you a rough idea. I'm not going to do a reading right this moment. Because I just want you to see how I layer things. These ones. And these are from my Wild Mystic Oracle cards. You see that? And then I really like this deck here also. And this is my Oracle of Heaven and Hell. So the back sides. So to give you an idea. And then I have my affirmation cards in this gorgeous black color. So we'll just grab a couple of these. And these actually work so good together, like so good together. And really enjoying this combination of tarot and an oracle card combination. This is just like, for me, like chef's kiss. Like it's not, you know, it's only essentially 3 oracle decks and the affirmation cards with the tarot, but the combination is chef's kiss, like perfection. Love how this works and how they read together. So good. So good. And then moving on to the next one, I'll show you the 2 that I am really enjoying right now as well. Especially with the fall season coming up, because I'm so looking forward to fall. I don't know about the rest of you, but fall is my favorite season for lots and lots of reasons, but yeah, I'll show you. Okay, so for this next stacking event, I'm going to take my Green Witch Tarot and I am pairing that with my Celtic Magic Oracle cards. Because I think they're gorgeous together. And then I am pairing them also with my Herbal Wisdom Oracle deck. And then my Green Witch Oracle. And lastly, the Green Witch Oracle deck. And I just think it's another one of those groupings that looks so nice together, but it also reads really well together. So I know I'm focusing a lot or saying a lot about how they look together, but for me, as someone who does, like, color is a thing that's kind of ingrained in my brain, and as well as like how they read is like super important to me. I can't really explain why, but it's just a thing about my brain. And I know that not everybody's brain is going to operate the same as mine, and that's totally fine. But I just feel like, for whatever reason, it works for me, and it just does. I wish I could explain it better than that. And so, because they work well together and they look nice together, and it doesn't cause my brain to like, I don't know, I don't want to say hiccup, but it really just does something for my brain. And it's kind of what I need because of where I'm at in my tarot journey. And that's pretty much all I can say. I hope it makes sense. I don't know, is there anyone else that does this? I would like to think that I am not alone in pairing decks together. Essentially, if I'm using just any deck and I just grab an oracle deck, a lot of times my brain stops and I'm too caught up in the differences and not how everything flows together. And so when my brain does that, for me, it just makes it harder for me to read my cards, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so for my last grouping, this is one that I have really been enjoying, and I've been doing this not quite daily, but pretty close, because this is like, I think it's the season that I'm in right now, but this one is definitely working for my brain. So I am taking the Midnight Magic Tarot, and you can see my box is kind of frayed. And I'm combining that with the Crystal Wisdom, the Fortune Teller, the Mushroom Spirit, and lastly the Witch Tools. And it has been, amazing. And I have really, really, really enjoyed it. So let's see how these look together, shall we? So hopefully, again, you can see these. I'm trying to keep everything as centered as possible. There's that. We will toss on a couple of my Mushroom Spirit Oracle. Grab a couple of these gorgeous Fortune Teller cards. Some Witch's Tools. And then we will finish off with a beauteous Crystal Oracle, or Crystal Wisdom, I should say, the Crystal Wisdom. But I have just, this pairing, for whatever reason, is just it's so good. And they work so good together, and they communicate so nicely with each other. And so I'm really just kind of loving this. And I think this is probably going to be what I'm using until after Samhain for sure. And the previous grouping with my Green Witch Tarot, that one I think is going to be my go-to for fall as well. So I'm probably going to be trading off and on between those two. Although I do want to use my all black pairings, I'm thinking for on Samhain itself when I do some ancestral work, because I feel like that one just speaks ancestor work to me. And so I think that's kind of the vibe that I'm going for right now. And so absolutely loving all of these. So I hope that kind of gives you some idea of my thought process, I guess. I don't know if I really even explained the thought process. Essentially, for me, because of like my brain, the way I'm wired, if they don't kind of cohesively look similar, I feel like I really have to rely more on books and less on intuition, because my brain just kind of focuses on the differences and not the message I'm trying to get or the message that's meant for me, because I'm too focused on the little nuances of things that don't seem to match to me. So when I find decks that all work together, I get super excited and the reading just flows better for me, if that makes any sense. Now, I'm sure everyone's probably going to be like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? or what have you, but it's not like that. It's just the way that I am wired. For some reason, it just works so much better when I see decks that are kind of similar and do work together so much better. Does that mean it's going to work for everybody? Of course not. You know, we're all different for a reason. It's just how it works for me. So when I see decks that do work together really well, I get super excited because that means that I can play with them more. I can actually use them more. I can go back to them time and time again, and I'm always excited. If they don't seem to have that cohesive element to them, my brain just doesn't quite get it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So the tall and short of it is, find what works for you and what resonates for you. Sometimes the decks are going to just jump out and speak to you no matter what. I haven't had that moment where a deck has just screamed at me and said, whatever, other than one Oracle deck that I just really have that definite vibe with. Now with my Antique Anatomy deck, I do have I do a lot, it reads really well for me on its own. And I can just use only it, and it does just fine. But I have found that when I do pair it with other decks, the reading is that much more succinct, the message is that much more clear, and I get it. So that's just kind of how it works for me. Does that mean that it's always perfect? No. Sometimes I'll get decks and I'll think, oh my gosh, this will work so great with this deck. And then I'm just kind of like, it's not what I thought it was going to be. And that's just like, anything in life, something that you really think is going to be great, sometimes it's just kind of a dud. So anyway, that's just kind of where I'm at in my journey. Like I said in video 1, it's a fool's journey, and it's mine. And I'd love to take you along with me. So if you are interested in, what I've got going on, of course, I would love to have you join me. I'm hoping to kind of grow this into a fantastic community where we can all like bounce ideas off each other and grow in tarot together. So anyhow, without further ado, and without making this video any longer than it has to be, I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope it resonated with you on some level. And if nothing else, I hope it got you excited about tarot and about Oracle decks and about all the different things that can be done with them. So until next time, please remember that the real magic lives inside you. Jinja mababon dangshinani iseyo. And until next time,